Now we are going to see is list data type and range function in Python programming. We have seen the data types. Data types is nothing but which type of data we are using. So we have the basic data types like integer, float, complex, and string. Now the another data type in this Python programming we are going to see is list data type. Okay, we are going to see is list data type. So in total we have 7 data types, that is int, float, string, complex, list, tuple, and dictionary. All these are data types. From that we have already seen int, float, string, and complex. In this session we are going to see list data type, and the remaining two we are going to see later on, that is tuple and dictionary. So these are the data types in Python programming. Let's see what is this list data type. Lists are used to store multiple items in a single variable. Now, earlier we have seen that if it is an integer value, we used to write a is equal to 5. If it is a floating value, we used to write a is equal to 5.3. If it is a complex, we have written 5j. If it is a string, in the quotes we have written some value. But now, in this list, we can store multiple values. Then it could be a integer value, it could be a float value, it could be a string value or an complex value. Any values we can store in a single variable. Now in this example you will observe that it is written a is equal to, in the square brackets it is written apple, banana, and cherry. This means a single variable a is having three values, that is apple, banana, and cherry. As much values you can put into a list. How to declare a list? Into a square brackets, compulsory. And if I say print a, then it will give me an output as apple, banana, and cherry. So lists are basically an ordered, changeable, and it also allow a duplicate values. I can write apple, apple, apple 3 times. So it will give me a 3 values. So A will have a total 3 values. Okay. So this is what a list data type is. A list is nothing but it stores a multiple values into a single variable. So even this is having indexing. The first item will be start at 0th index compulsory. Okay. Like we have seen in the string indexing and slicing, the first element start at 0th index. Similarly in the list also, the first index has the 0th index, then the second one will be at the first index, and the third one, and so on till n index. Okay, so the first value like will be at the 0th position. So apple will be at 0th position, banana will be at first position, and the cherry will be at the third position. Now see, as we said that list can contains different data types. So if you observe that I have taken one variable list1 named as list1, in that I have, into the square brackets I have written the first value is abc, which is of string type. Then comma I have written 34, which is of integer type. Then I have written true, which is of boolean type. Again integer type, then string type. So if you observe, in one list, I have written all the different data types, values of different data types. So this is valid in the list. We can use as much of data we want. With different data types also we can use it. So list contains different data types. Now list, the main property of the list is it can be changeable. We can add some values in between. We can remove some values from the between. Okay, like we can alter the list. Now suppose if I have 5 items in the list, and if I want to add one more, then I can add one more, okay, in the list, and I can increase the size of the list. So list can be changeable. Now, how we can change the list, that all part we are going to see in the next sessions. But the concept is we can add or delete from the items from the list. So list is a changeable. Remember this, okay? Okay, so let's see one example of the list. I'm opening the online editor. Okay, now here, this is one of my online editor. In this online editor, let me declare one string. Okay, string, no, sorry, list. So I'm taking list variable as a is equal to. We know that list should be compulsory into the square brackets. So I'm writing in the square brackets. See, the first value I'm taking is 1, then 30, then 6.8. Okay, 3 values I have taken, and I just want to find out, or I want to print the a, and also I want to find out the data type of that a variable. So we have a type function which helps us to find out the data type. So I'm writing type a. Now when I run the code, see, it is displaying me the list, that is 136.8, and it is saying class of type list. Okay, so this means this is a list data type. So it helps us to print a multiple values. Even I am adding some value in it. See, now I am getting 4 values, 136.8 and KIT. This means all are these are of different types. One is of integer type, 6.8 is of floating type, and KIT it is of string type. Okay, so this is what a list is. Even we can have a indexing on a list. We know that what is indexing. Indexing means we can find out the part of it, means at the zeroth index or at zeroth position which value we have, we can find out. That is called as indexing. So I will write a 0, and when I run the code, it is giving me 1. See, the output I'm getting is 1. Means the zeroth position I have the value 1. Similarly, if I want to find out the value, I'm writing 3. Okay, a of 3. At the third position, I have KIT. This is what an indexing is. So we can perform indexing on a list data type. Now see, I have written a 1 is to 3. That means I am doing slicing. Slicing means fetching the sub part of the list. Okay, we have seen in the string what is slicing and indexing. So if I want to take a sub part of it, then compulsory we are going to write a slicing. So see, I have written a 1 is to 3. Okay, so when I run the code, I am getting 30 and 6.8, because at the first position I have 30 and 1 is to 3. At going to a third location, it will stop. So 0, 1, 2, only it will giving me 30 and 6.8. The third position will not get print because it will stop at that point. Okay, so we can perform indexing and slicing on the list data type. Now next we are going to see is range function in the Python programming. This is very important, range function. Now there is one inbuilt function called as range, allows the user to generate a series of numbers within a given range. So how it generate a series of numbers, we will see. See the syntax. The syntax of it is There are three ways to for that syntax. The first is range and stop, then range start value and stop value, and then range start value, stop value, and step. Now we'll see what is this range function with the help of online editor. Okay, so I'm here at the online editor. Now see, okay, I have written a range of 10. See, I'm writing a is equal to range of 10. Okay, and now I'm printing that a. Now you will observe it is printing 0 to 10. Means what? It is giving me a value starting from 0 ending to 20. Okay, this will give me a series of values 0 to 10. So this is what my range function is. It will give you the values from 0 to 10. Okay, now it is just displaying me range 0 comma 10. Now I am appending it with list. See, I am writing list in the bracket. See, I have written a is equal to list. Okay, in the bracket I have written range of 10. So when I will run the value, you will get the output. See the output. See at the right side. It is giving series of numbers starting from 0 to 10. What is this 10? We have given the stop value. Okay, in the code we have given the stop value 10. So it is printing from starting index. By default it is considering starting index as 0 and ending till 10. Now you can give the start value also. I just want start value as 5 comma 10. So whenever I will run the code, it is giving 5 to 9. I have given start value and the end value. See how I have written a is equal to list range 5 comma 10. Means in the list only, list helps us to get the multiple values, right? So I have used list here, and then inside that I have written range 5 comma 10. 5 is my start value, 10 is my last value. Now the next syntax we have is, see the next syntax, range start value, stop value, and step. Now what is this start value, stop value, step? We know start value is the first value from the which my list is going to start. Stop value is my end value. Now step means what? It is a jump. Okay, step means jump. If you want to skip one number and print the another number, then see, I'm giving the start value as 1 comma 10 comma 2. Okay, so whenever I will run the code, it is skipping one number, printing another number. Means it had printed 1, then it had skipped 2, then he had printed 3, then 4 he had skipped, then printed 5, 6 skipped 7, 8 skipped 9. So that means we are jumping from skipping the part. Okay, if I'm writing 3 instead of 2, if I'm writing 3, it will give me 1, 4, and 7. It will skip two parts. Okay, it will jump to the third location directly. So that is what step is, jumping it to a location by skipping some part. So I have written 3, it will jump to the third position. So after the 1, it will skip 2 and 3, it is jumping to the third position coming from 1, that is 4. So he is printing 4. So this is what my range function. See here I have written b is equal to, into the square brackets I have given two values which is of type list. List helps us to give the multiple values, and I have printed that list. Then by using the range function, simply I have printed series of numbers starting from 1 till 10. And if you want to skip one number and print the another number, just write the next position to jump it on, and I have run the code. It is giving me this output. So this is what the range function in Python programming. See, I have written range minus 10. Minus 10 will be my starting number and minus 1 will be my ending number. It is helping me to print the negative values from minus 10 to minus 2. Yes, it's working for negative numbers also. Only remember, if you are going to use a range function, then you can use it using a list data type, because list is the only data type which helps us to give a multiple values in single variable. So this is what the range function in Python programming. And this is the syntax of this range function. You can use this 3 ways. Simply by using a stop value, then by using start stop value, and then by using start stop and step value. Start stop and step is nothing but the jump, which number you want to jump it on. Okay, so this is the range function which generate a series of numbers within a given range. I hope you have understood the list data type and this range function.